Guys, welcome to this episode of Shimmy Cast. As a way of apology to you guys for not getting an episode out sooner, I am doing a special video episode. And I want to walk you guys through how I made my first tribal belt. This is the first tribal belt that I've made. It's not the first one that I own. And unfortunately, I was not smart enough to think, oh, I should video this as I'm making it. So you're seeing the finished product, and I'm going to explain to you how I put it together. So first, let's talk about supplies. Scissors, cowrie shells, jewel glue, needle and thread. I like to use quilter's thread because it's really heavy and strong. I also like to use leather thimbles because I think they fit my fingers better than regular ones. And then these bead strands, along with these medallions here, were actually a necklace that I took apart and then reused components of. And then the main thing, all this lovely fringe that you see actually came from the Walmart craft department. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say the actual store name. From a store that begins with Wall and ends with Mart. Anyway, from the craft department, and it is actually meant to be a doorway curtain, fringe curtain. So what I did was this particular section of the belt from here to here. I did not do all this, you guys. This is a belt that I bought at an import store that I then cut the fasteners off of. And then I just did quick whip stitches to stitch the door curtain to the back of the belt. That's all I did.
Nice.
Okay. So here is how I whip stitched the door curtain to the back of the belt. This dark part here is the belt, as you can see. And then also, to make it fit my waist, I had to add a bit more webbing to the end of the curtain, door curtain, and I used my sewing machine to secure that so it would be nice and tight. And then I also sewed on the cords that would be my waist tie. So then this here and all the fringiness that came with it. It was a lovely necklace, and I bought 2 of them. One, two. And then I cut the actual necklace part off of it, and that's where I got these strands of beads from. And then I used my jewel glue to just glue this onto the door curtain, like so. So from there, I just laid out cowrie shells on this part from here to here in a pattern that I liked, and I kind of tried to emulate the pattern that was on this main part of the belt already. And again, it was just these cowrie shells that came in packs of like 10 or so that I bought at the craft store. So at that point, I had a lot of blank empty space where this kind of turquoisey color was showing through the front, right here between the original belt and the necklace, and then between all these cowrie shells. And then here we have where I did rows of beadwork to fill in the gaps. And I just took my needle and thread and came up from the back. And then I took my strand of beads and just ran those, I can't do this fast, ran those through my needle, and then pulled the needle up and through and to the bottom and back through. So these made nice long rows, and I was able to, sew a bunch of beads on all at once. So no sewing beads on one at a time. And then I just did some stitches across to kind of hold them in place. And I did the same thing to put all these little beads around the cowrie shells. So to finish off the waist ties, and just make it look a little more nice, I knotted it and I let the ends spray a little because I like the look of that. And then I sewed 2 cowrie shells, one on either side, with the appropriately colored thread. Here's the white one. So then the last thing to do after I've done all this sewing is, I'm not as tall as a door frame. So what I did was just take the thread and folded it in half and then cut off the half. So about I ended up cutting about this much off of each strand to make it more appropriate for my height. So let me talk budget with you guys. The doorway curtain costs $20. Again, I got that at a store, starting with Wall and ending with Mart. The belt here from the import store was, I think, $8. The necklaces were $5 a piece, so that's 28, right? No, 38. Yes, I can do math. The cowrie shells, I want to say those were about $1 for a package of 10, and I used 2 packages. The webbing, I think, was maybe like 10 cents a yard, and I didn't even use that much. And the cords, I want to say those were maybe like 20 cents a yard or something. Again, not very expensive. And I can't remember how much this glue is. Thread, of course, is pretty cheap. The cool thing though about it is I now have pretty long pieces of thread or fringe that I can go make another belt with. Yay. And I also had a lot of extra leftover beads from the necklaces. So this is good in case I want to make some accessories that will match this, or if, knock on wood, God forbid, I lose some beads and need to go back and use them for repair purposes. So, we're looking at, around, I guess, $40 for the whole kit and caboodle. So this is what it looks like on. This is what it looks like when you move, when you shimmy, shimmy, shake it. And here's what it looks like from the back. And I'm very proud of myself for making my first tribal belt, and I hope you guys get a little inspiration from my trials and tribulations of making it. Have an awesome week, and until next time, namaste and shimmy on.